Do you have an organizational chart? Steve here with the Janitorial Store, the channel where we help cleaning business owners scale their businesses with systems, tools, and resources. Well, I don't know if you know what an organizational chart is, but I tell you what, it's very valuable for your cleaning company. And here I'll tell you why. Because, if we started a cleaning company, and we have to have some kind of a roadmap to help us decide on how we're going to grow this thing and scale it. And that's probably the number one reason to have an organizational chart, because when you look at your organizational chart, it's going to outline exactly the positions that you need in order to get to that next plateau. Now, in the cleaning industry, the commercial cleaning industry, you have certain plateaus that you'll hit along the way. So, it's pretty common for people when you first start out, you're on the $0 to $40,000 in revenue. So that's kind of your first plateau. And then, you hit another plateau to where you're doing 40 to 100,000. Then another plateau is 100,000 to 250,000. And then you hit, 250 to 500,000. And then 500,000 to $1 million, and so on. But you consistently hit these plateaus, as time goes on. And that's one of the things that makes it so nice if you have an organizational chart. When you're planning your growth, you can see exactly what positions you need in order to get there. So, and what I did is, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at some of these plateaus, and you'll be able to see exactly the positions that you need, or what it might take to get to a certain plateau. So now with this chart, you see that this here is the plateau to where we're at the 0 to 40,000 in sales, in revenue. So here, you're just the owner-operator, and at this stage, you're wearing all the hats. You're the salesperson, you're the secretary, you're the cleaner, you're doing it all. So at that level there is, you're just wearing all these different hats. And at times it can get quite overwhelming. But, the key there is just to have some systems that will help you manage all this. But you'll be fine. Now, the one thing I want to say is, as we talk about these charts, that they will vary. You can build these, your organizational chart, as lean as you want or as heavy as you want. Meaning that you can take away positions or you can add positions. It's entirely up to you. Everybody's different. But the one thing that you will see is that on my charts, is that any of the positions that are in red are the positions that you're going to be adding during that stage of growth. So that's what makes it nice about these here. You can identify and know exactly what positions you need for the next growth area. So let's look at the next stage. The next stage is where we're doing 40,000 to 100,000 in revenue. Now at this stage here, we have the owner-operator. Then you may have a part-time bookkeeper or secretary, and you may have some part-time cleaners. In that stage, you may have 2 to 3 employees. So, like I say, you may have the one secretary or bookkeeper, or you might have 1 employee, 1 part-time employee, and then plus yourself. Or you might have 2 part-time cleaners. Again, it's different for everybody. So don't think these things are written in stone, because they're not. But it's a great guideline for you. Our next stage is the 100,000 to 250,000 in sales. Now, at this stage here, you may have anywhere from 3 to 5 employees, and so that may be to where it's yourself and a bookkeeper, and you may have a cleaner, some part-time cleaners. But here you're going to hire either some part-time or full-time cleaners. And one thing I want to say is that generally on the commercial industry, companies will hire more part-time cleaners than they do full-time cleaners. They typically will keep the full-time cleaners in management positions, such as either lead people, supervisors, managers. So in that at that level, again, you're going to have some part-time and full-time employees. And now these full-time and part-time employees are going to be working, 30 to 40 hours if they're part-time, and then if they're a part-time cleaner, they may be working less than 30 hours a week. In the 100,000 to 250,000 range, there's a lot of companies at that level, and some companies really struggle to get past, get up over that plateau. But that's what the janitorial store is for. It helps you get up over those plateaus. Our next level is 250,000 to 500,000 in revenue. So now here, you could have as many as 5 to 25 employees. It's really going to depend on the type of accounts you have and things like that there. And again, it depends on how many part-time, full-time employees that you may have at that stage. But here, you've already got in place, you've got your owner-manager yourself, full-time supervisor, a full-time cleaner, and some part-time cleaners, and a part-time secretary. So that's what you have in place already. But in order for you to scale to $500,000, you're going to have to possibly hire yourself a full-time office manager, and hire a part-time, full-time supervisor, and some full-time cleaners and some part-time cleaners. So by doing so, that should help elevate you to get to the $500,000 in revenue to that next plateau. Now our next plateau, our next level that we go to is $500,000 to $1 million in revenue. Now, a lot of times you'll hear me say that, often the magic number is the $1 million. And like I say, I don't know whoever came up with that's the magic number to be a successful cleaning company, because it's not true. At any one of these levels, you're successful. But at the $500,000 to $1 million in revenue, there are the positions that you have in place are, owner manager. You will have a full-time bookkeeper, full-time supervisor, a couple of full-time supervisors, full-time cleaners. Then you'll have part-time cleaners, and then for you in order to get to that $1 million level, you may add another part-time secretary or assistant. You may hire a full-time operations manager. You may hire a salesperson or a telemarketer at that level to help leads continually coming in. You may hire a full-time equipment or warehouse assistant. And again, you may hire a full-time supervisor, full-time cleaners, and part-time cleaners in order to reach that level. Because at that stage, you're going to have about 25 to 60 employees when you're doing $1 million in revenue. Now you have to remember, 25 to 60, those are either part-time or full-time employees. Generally, if you have full-time employees, you can generally hit $1 million in revenue if you have 15 to 20 full-time employees. So that's just kind of a rule of thumb that you'll see. And the same thing is true on the residential side. You typically that 15 to 20 employees, they're doing about $1 million in revenue. Now this last plateau that I have is $1 million to $2 million in revenue. And here, we have our owner manager. We may have an operations manager in place, an office manager. We have secretary, office assistant. We got a part-time telemarketer, and we have our full-time supervisors, part-time supervisors, and our cleaners. In order to get that the $2 million mark, we may add on some personnel manager, purchasing manager, warehouse assistant, and maybe a couple of area managers. And again, at that stage, you're at 60 to 150 employees. And again, it really depends on how heavy or how lean you want to run your business. So always remember that. Again, I'm going to repeat that this is not written in stone, but these are some, show you a pretty good average of what you need to do in order to hit those plateaus. So with those organizational charts, like I say, now you can plan on scaling to whatever plateau or level that you want to go to. They're just really handy. You know, we have them on the Janitorial Store. You know, and we also have them on my house cleaning biz for the residential industry. You know, they're different than these. You know, the numbers are different, but you know, we got it all laid out over there too. So, well, hopefully you got some value from this video. And if you did, you know, feel free to comment or ask a question, and I will do a show on the topic. If you have not already, make sure that you subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you get the latest updates on new videos to help grow your business. So, until next time, thanks for checking in, and let's keep it clean out there.